Erik Tenhag's new club. The scandal with the Lewandowski's cancelled goal is gaining momentum. Ronaldo will head an English club as the main coach. And Lionel Messi commented on his departure from Inter Miami. We're talking about this and much more today. Friends, this is Dose of Football and the top 10 hottest news of the hour. Your Royal like today, our regular video tomorrow. Our deal is still strong, and I wish you a pleasant appetite and a pleasant viewing. The name Frank Lampard is strongly associated with London's Chelsea, where he became a true legend as a player. But as a coach, the heart of Chelsea most brightly revealed itself not there, but in Derby County. He was a step away from leading the team to the Premier League. He was stopped by Aston Villa in the playoff final. Despite the bitterness of this defeat, Lampard managed to create an image of a promising coach, which attracted the attention of his former club. And soon he led Chelsea. The first season gave a lot of hope to the fans. Already in his second match, Lampard was close to winning the trophy, but again, it was just a bit short. In the Super Cup, Chelsea lost to Liverpool in a penalty shootout, and then let go of the England Cup, losing to Arsenal. Nevertheless, Lampard showed that he is capable of leading the team at a high level. But in the second season, luck turned away from him. By mid-year, he had lost his job, followed by an unsuccessful period at Everton and a second, even less successful return to Chelsea. Now he has a chance to start all over again. In the Championship, there is a club on the brink of relegation, and its leaders see a savior in the face of Lampard. This time, his task is not to lift the team into the Premier League. His job is to keep the team in the Championship. After a tough start, Coventry is in one of the last places, having only 4 wins in 15 matches and a 1-point gap from the relegation zone. But the season is long, and if Lampard can breathe life back into the struggling team, he may be looking at a new lease on his career. Now let's turn our attention to another coach with a no less contradictory history. In his time, this specialist's name was on everyone's lips. He led a team from South America to triumph at the international level. But after that, his career went downhill. Constant club changes, character issues, difficulties in achieving team results. One of the symbols of his career became a photo of Lionel Messi crying after the lost final of this coach's team. Do you already understand who we are talking about? Of course, yes. All this time, he was on your screens. Jorge Sampaoli and his Chile team from a decade ago. Today, Sampaoli gets a chance to return to the top level in Europe, becoming the new coach of the French Rennes after the dismissal of Julian Stéphan. Can he finally establish himself and show his style, as it was with the Chile team? Will he be able to implement his coaching ideas in a new place? We'll find out soon. Real Madrid is facing a significant injury crisis, with key players out and a shortage in central defense. Antonio Rudiger is the only fit defender remaining. It's uncertain how long the German can maintain this intense pace without succumbing to injury himself. There are no players in the squad who could at least replace him. Of course, you could let Eder Militao play, but the Brazilian is very poor this season. It's unfortunate to put him anywhere else with such form, or you won't avoid problems. Therefore, Rudiger remains the only alternative as a central defender. Recently, Real legend Guti said that he doesn't understand why the club's management doesn't turn to a proven option and sign Sergio Ramos. The Spanish defender gave class to this post, and you to this video, having seen it on social networks. I think Ramos won't be back at Santiago Bernabeu. But the club's management is slow. As I understand, they plan to sign the Spaniard only as a last resort. It seems like there's some kind of conflict between the player and the management. Regardless, Ramos won't vanish. He still has a preliminary agreement to work in America. Real Madrid is in an enviable position. The Slivoshes aim to avoid a costly center-back acquisition. And it's even better to sign someone for free. But there are a few such options on the market. You can do like Barcelona did in Bartomeu's time, namely to rent extremely dubious characters to somehow patch the hole in the lineup. But this doesn't seem to be the philosophy of Real Madrid. Nonetheless, it appears Slivovic is prepared for this possibility. For example, they are looking at Mario Hermosa, who joined Roma this summer but didn't get a regular place in the starting lineup. Roma may let the Real Academy graduate go for a purely symbolic price. Anyway, he came as a free agent. It would be a sin to demand a lot of money for the transfer of such a player. Slovakian is also looking at Jonathan Ada. His contract with Bayer Leverkusen expires in the summer, and he has no intention of renewing it. To avoid losing the defender for free, the German club may sell him this winter for a modest fee. But it doesn't seem like Bayer's management intends to part ways with the footballer mid-season. In general, Madrid needs young players with prospects, not written-off club legends. But there is a feeling that the club's management regrets their decision to ignore Sergio Ramos. Football has gone on an international break. Upcoming matches will be played in the Nations League and World Cup qualifiers. The Portuguese national team will play 2 crucial group matches against Poland and Croatia. It's quite possible that the first place will be decided in the last round, as the difference between the teams is only 3 points. But seeing the football that the Croatian national team is showing now, there's no certainty that, with each match, it continues to break the record for goals scored with each match. It continues to break the record for goals scored for the national team. At the moment, he has 33 goals and 25 assists. The Portuguese Football Federation decided to honor Cristiano for his contribution to the national team, presenting him with a prestigious award. During the ceremony, the Portuguese shared his nearest career goals. He wants to reach 1,000 goals mark. I will do everything in my power now. I publicly declare that I want to score more than 1,000 goals. It would be great if I could reach this milestone. But if I can't, then so far no one has scored more than me, said Ronaldo. The Portuguese also stated that he doesn't know how long he will continue his football journey, but he doesn't know when he will hang up his boots. Attention, Cristiano is unsure when he will retire from football. Attention, Cristiano might become the head coach of Wrexham, which is owned by actor Ryan Reynolds. The source notes that the Portuguese has a wealth of experience that he can pass on to the next generation, but at the same time, he is not particularly eager to stand on the coach's bridge. He would prefer a less public role to avoid unnecessary pressure. Therefore, Ryan Reynolds is also discussing with Cristiano the possibility of becoming an investor in Wrexham, fulfilling representative duties. The Portuguese appointment will reflect on the Welsh club's popularity. You may remember how Al Nassr's social networks took off after the forward's transfer. The same boom is expected for Wrexham as soon as the club announces its collaboration with Cristiano. Nevertheless, the Portuguese is currently focused on football. Ronaldo dreams of playing alongside his son. As soon as Cristiano Jr. reaches professional age, his father will start thinking about ending his career. Victor Asimhen is going through a remarkable stage of his career in Turkish Galatasaray. After a disappointing season in Naples and a conflict with the management over a failed transfer to Chelsea, it seemed that his psychological confidence could be shaken. Napoli's president Aurelio De Laurentiis made it clear that he does not see the forward in the team. But by that time, the transfer window in the top leagues had already closed. The choice was small: either sit on the bench in Naples for the remaining season, or move to a league where the transfer window is still open. Only less competitive championships remained, such as the Turkish Super League or the Saudi Arabian Championship. The Nigerian chose Turkey and did not lose. Asimhen immediately became a key player in the new team, and the fans quickly appreciated what kind of top forward Galatasaray got almost for free. In the first 6 matches of the Turkish Championship, Victor scored 8 resultative points, and in the Europa League, he demonstrates the same high productivity. The club's management is already considering the possibility of buying out his contract and is ready to offer 50 million euros in the winter window. However, the better Asimhen plays, the higher the interest in him becomes. He refused to move to Chelsea in the summer, but he might end up in London soon, only in a different team. Rumors suggest Arsenal's management has renewed interest in signing him. The forward is indeed necessary for the Gunners. Havertz is somewhat improving, but his natural position is clearly not the center forward. But Asimhen could have realized the team's attacking potential to the fullest. Paris Saint-Germain is reportedly tracking the Nigerian, and he already has a substantial offer from the French club. But it's hard to say how much the French League One can offer in terms of personal growth. Against the backdrop of annual domestic victories, the level of competition remains low. At Arsenal, Asimhen will have all the conditions for revealing his talent, unless the story of Nicolas Pepe repeats itself. Nevertheless, the Nigerian does not seem like someone who easily breaks under pressure. In England, a scandal has erupted after a video spread on social media, seemingly showing David Coote calling Jurgen Klopp a fool in a private conversation with friends. The date of the video's recording is unknown. Discussing a Reds match, Coote claimed Merseysides played terribly. Asked about Klopp, the judge said, "Fool, complete fool." Coote added, "He ruined my work in their Berlin match during lockdown. He accused me of lying." I'm not interested in interacting with such high-profile people, so I do everything possible not to talk to him, the referee stated. The organization responsible for refereeing in England announced the suspension of Coote until the investigation of the situation is completed. And a Liverpool fan who posted the clip claimed that referee Anthony Taylor is next in line. I'm a Liverpool fan, but as strange as it may seem, I hope that things will turn out well for Coote. Of course, on the condition that he will no longer be assigned to Liverpool matches. For Klopp's fans, this is, of course, a bummer. But his relationship with English referees has not been easy. Partly to blame is his emotional sideline behavior, which is exactly why fans love him. So, to some extent, the referees can be understood. Jurgen loved to publicly criticize them and shout during the match. The main thing is that Coote criticized Klopp in a private conversation. Of course, it was probably worth being safe and not filming such a thing on camera, but it's normal for refs to have disliked coaches and even clubs. This should not be said at work, but referees have every right to criticize Klopp, Guardiola, and anyone else in a conversation with friends. What's the question? There's nothing good about the video being leaked online, yes, but I don't believe that the content was filmed for a wide audience. David just needs to be chewed out and left in the APL. Just never send him to Liverpool matches again so the fans won't complain. Joan Laporta risks being left out after the upcoming Barcelona presidential elections. Many Blaugrana fans have criticized the nature of the official, who chases hype instead of planned progress. Laporta has a sharp tongue. He knows how to wriggle out of tricky situations and dodge difficult questions. But alas, Joan lacks decisiveness. For example, today he likes Xavi, and tomorrow he is already undecided. For example, today he likes Xavi, and tomorrow he already doesn't, and we see him hyping up another player. Laporta can't hold back, we see him hyping up another player. Laporta can't stick to one course. He's constantly changing it, all for the sake of popularity among the fans. And the stability of the club, well, damn. In the end, we have Lamas. You don't have to worry at all. The young guys from the academy will still solve all the questions. Meanwhile, I'll be dealing with matters of preserving my presidential chair. Therefore, as Joanne specifically writes for the elections, she wants to sign a big star, priority Erling Haaland. But even Laporta, with his almost magical thinking, understands that it's not that simple. And Joanne has not talked much about improving the financial situation in the club. Not very much. Therefore, alternative options are being considered. For example, Amar Marmoush from Eintracht and Victor Gyökeres from Sporting. How do you like the selection? Are the footballers top-notch? No argument there. But what do Marmoush and Gyökeres have in common? They are completely different players in terms of style. Who would have thought in Barca there's no single vision of what the future forward of the team should be? Who will become the main one after Lewandowski's departure? Robert, by the way, is in excellent form and is planning to extend his contract. So it seems like the question of the successor needs to be addressed in the next season, not this one. But if they manage to buy a star for the elections, Lev will be happy. If not, they will leave it unchanged, and Laporta will claim it was all part of the plan. Harry Kane became a leader in Bavaria from the very first matches. After the departure of Lewandowski, a steady striker who could score even in bad form, and a steady bomber who could score even in bad form. They were even afraid to talk to Tottenham's president, Daniel Levy. They were afraid to get in touch with Tottenham president Daniel Levy. Negotiating with him is actually a pleasure. And if it's about his favorite player, even more so. But Levy kept his word to Kane and let him go to Bavaria. Even in the worst of times under Tuchel, Kane had no doubts. Harry had his most productive season right after joining the club. He even matched Lewandowski's record, and still, the start in the Grand was not as close as Harry expected. 0 trophies and another round of jokes about trophyless Harry. Kane did everything he could, but still ended up without the cups he left Tottenham for. And after such, of course, one can think about changing the club. At least, this is what Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester United are hoping for. According to information, both giants are ready to pay up to 30 million euros for the forward. MU tried to snatch Kane in the summer of the third year, but nothing worked out. Levy was unwilling to let go of the forward, even with tank competitors. Then MU bought Rasmus Højlund. The Dagestani fighter failed to vindicate himself. I would say that the partners are to blame first and foremost. One Bruno Fernandes consistently delivers the ball to Rasmus. But Kane is capable of leading top matches in those cases, when the opponent doesn't give time and space around the penalty area. Kane knows how to break the press, dropping into the half defense. He is one of the best false nines in the world, despite not having the highest speed. This is definitely the reason for Luis Enrique's interest. The Spanish coach believes forwards aren't just goal scorers, but also creators of opportunities in the penalty area. A space player balancing between the lines. That's why Alvaro Morata is almost the best nine in the world for him. Honestly, I'm not sure that Bavaria would let Kane go even for 130 million. But what I don't doubt is that Kane will play in any club in the world. With such a wide range of skills, he can fit into any system. Messi led Inter Miami to its first championship, making history. However, his team was eliminated by Atlanta United in the first round of the playoffs, failing to secure a second trophy. After the game, there was no sympathy for Miami. Inter's players have destroyed any potential sympathy for them through their actions. Messi was the only one to pity. He didn't take part in his teammates' clownish antics. Secondly, the Argentine put in more effort than the others to secure a win. Despite the small number of balls he scored, he consistently gave his teammates opportunities to stand out in the match. In the last game, he made 7 sharp passes, earning 1.5 points in the expected assist system. But his partners ruined all the moments. Not to say that Messi had a successful outing, but he was definitely the best among the worst. After the game, the Argentine did not throw a tantrum like, for example, Jordi Alba did, but was genuinely upset about the team's elimination. His reaction after the final whistle revealed this. Following the game, rumors circulated about Leo potentially leaving Miami, but he quickly dispelled them himself. 3 days later, he decided to comment on the team's defeat. Although we achieved some goals, we wanted more. Thanks to all the people who joined and supported us on social media. Messi and the whole team will have plenty of time to prepare for the new season, which starts at the end of winter. I would advise the management to buy a couple of decent defenders and possibly look for another goalkeeper. Despite the quality attack line, it simply stopped playing because of the third beaten goal of defense, because the Miami player was on the gas. Professionals should not allow such a loss of concentration in such an important match, especially in knockout matches, a mistake in which can cost the team further participation in the tournament. So far, there are no news about the purchase of central defenders or a goalkeeper who was recently kicked out of a Brazilian club, but in the Miami squad, which was recently kicked out of a Brazilian club. But Miami already has an attacking left back. I see no reason to sign Marcelo. The Lewandowski unprotected goal scandal is escalating. Barcelona's sporting director Deco stated, "Video assistant referee has not yet solved those problems. Technologies have not surpassed human decision-making in importance. We still have controversial decisions being made, similar to what happened in this game. The truth is that there was a goal that was not counted and it was wrongly canceled. We require an explanation." During the break, Jen Laporta was furious. According to Releva, Blaugrana's president was in disbelief and anger over the goal being canceled. Laporta repeatedly said it was impossible. Ex-judge Pavel Fernandez commented on the episode like this. "They say that the technical committee has evidence of Robert Lewandowski being offside. However, it doesn't seem like offside to me, if judging by the TV picture. As Orlava writes, Barcelona will turn to La Liga for explanations. What exactly happened in the chosen wrong frame? And in the video assistant referee room, they made a stop frame at the necessary time to fix the violation of the rules. The system assesses the position of 19 body points. There is almost no room for error. And in this case, it didn't happen. When technology can't sufficiently distinguish body parts, it signals this, after which the sideline is manually drawn. But everything was in order here. Okay, let's assume so. But why then did they choose the wrong frame on TV? Ultimately, viewers are shown a picture with video assistant referee, not the broadcaster's choice. Why did they act differently this time? Great approach to the matter. I'm paraphrasing almost half of Petchkin's mail. We have the right frame, but I won't show it to you because you don't have the documents. Well, okay, good. They made a mistake during the match, showed the wrong picture. But why didn't the officials provide any evidence of offside cleanliness after the game? They could have just shown a photo from the offside. And that's it. Life goes on. No scandals. The La Liga judiciary is just like a cyclist from a meme who sticks sticks into his own wheels. Erik Tenhag was finally fired from Manchester United to the delight of my favorite Piers Morgan. You can, of course, relate to the Dutchman in different ways. But in my opinion, he proved in Ajax that he is in the first season at Manchester United. Another thing is that the conditions in the first season at Manchester United were terrible. The second season was unimpressive due to a large number of injuries. But the pressure, hate in the media, and overall toxic atmosphere at United drove Tenhag to the point where he started making inconsistent and rash decisions. This is exactly what distinguishes a top coach from just a good coach. If Erik takes on a normal project with a calm mind, having had a good rest after MU, everything will be fine. You just don't need to go to a top club. Clubs with ambition, that's perfect for him. But Messaggero writes that Tenhag is already being offered a job in Rome now. In Rome, where they have fired 3 coaches in the last 6 months. Why did they remove Mourinho? I don't understand. Despite the results, firing the coach mid-season was unwarranted considering Rome's terrible stretch wasn't severe enough. Not so bad to fire the coach in the middle of the season. Why was Drozzi fired? Well, it's a story in the spirit of Gerici with a brilliant female sports director. I hope it didn't end up precisely like the arc of the ambitious accountant from the rock and roll band. Gerici was fired for the bad atmosphere in the team and the same results. Meanwhile, the coach didn't even have time to implement his football, but he managed to pique interest. He used a false 9 against Torino. Elements of the Brazilian elliptical school. Juric even tried the so-called ladder, programmed movement diagonally instead of the usual geometric rosettes, to gradually rise from his penalty area to the opponents. But they didn't give Juric time to unfold, just as they might not give Tenhag. With the Friedkin Roma family, of course, added in marketing, and also began to spend more, but there is no stability. Like a place in the Champions League and the very coaching chair of Roma, one must think, scares most strong contenders. Nobody wants to get into this mess, only to have to clean up afterwards. One must value their reputation. Juric embarrassed himself with his club selection, and I recommend Tenhag not to get into this swamp. The second dismissal in a row due to chaos in the club will lead the Dutchman to a nervous breakdown. He is already, if you believe Ruud van Nistelrooy, very depressed. It's worth taking care of your health and waiting for an offer from a project that's more firmly on its feet. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching and for subscribing to the channel. My name is, and this was your daily dose of football. Peace to your house and Johanga, friends.